Guys, you want to know what one of the craziest things, that the most dangerous truth that a man can never face, especially in his life. Sometimes it can be money, sometimes it can be jobs, sometimes chasing success and things like that can be a problem to some guys out there. But the worst and most dangerous thing that a man is going to go through at the end of the day is going to be his own mind at the end of the day, period. There's no ifs, ands, buts, or maybe. It's not women, it's not rejection, it's not failure. And most people just don't understand at the end of the day, there is a thing that happens to a lot of young men in their mind that is a process that happens to them when they don't understand the game and everything like that. Okay, and it is something that is always going to limit them when they don't have game. And for many guys out here, I do want to ask you something. If height and money were everything, okay, were everything, why do so many tall men who have money, basketball players and athletes, get walked over, dogged walked, and cheated on? Men who have millions of dollars get dogged walked, cheated on, and disrespected. So the thing is that we got to discuss this, and we're going to be talking about today, does height or money actually matter when it comes to the game? And for all you guys out there, I just want to introduce myself. My name is Stephen Dean Williams. I've been teaching the game for decades now, and I ask every get opportunity to soak up the game that we have. We have YouTube shorts, videos, and a lot of information to show you that the game is always going to keep pushing on, even when I'm not around anymore. But I'm saying for all you guys out here, to understand the game is to understand that women don't fall for statistics. They don't fall for height, and they don't fall for dollar signs in your bank account. Even though the internet kind of pushes this agenda that they do fall for those things. But again, I ask you, it's a thinking man's game. How many women have dogged out, cheated on, and disrespected guys out there who are tall? How many tall people have you seen get dog walk like that? So it's something to actually think about. And what I'm saying for all you guys out there, they don't fall for stats. What they do fall for is your story. And what I would love for you to what I would love to do is I would love to help you actually take a moment and rewrite your story. But before we get into the 3 reasons why height and money don't define your distance, your success, and everything like that, we need to really take a moment and address the real issue that a lot of men out there ignore, okay? And the real reason and the truth that a lot of young people are avoiding when it comes to the argument of height and money is that it is not your height, it is actually the way you think about yourself, the concept that you have of yourself. It is not your bank account, it's what you believe in yourself, it's your belief system. And it is not your looks, it's how you look at yourself in the mirror. And for a lot of guys out here, they fall to these things that the internet tries to push on them because they can't understand why I'm all these things that women want me to be. I fit the criteria of what women want a man to be, but yet I'm not getting any women. I don't understand why it is that I'm the one losing out to women when I fit the mold of what I heard some woman I'm never going to date say about what she's looking for. And most of the guys out there fail because they're brought into this false world and this false narrative that external factors control success. Now, you guys, you have to understand, not you guys, but those who are outside of this, they don't understand the rules and the depth of the game. And what a lot of these young guys do is they build their identity around what a woman feels and what a woman thinks, and that's not the game, okay? They build on lies, okay? So they say that if and from their home, not working on themselves, not building or creating anything, They always will say things like, if I had more money, or if I were taller, if I looked better, I would fill in the blank. And that is a concept that a lot of guys have of themselves because they don't want to actually face the truth or face or take accountability of what is going on. Now I'm 5'7", man. I've always been a little motherfucker. Yeah, I'm a little guy, man. So this is not a Napoleon complex conversation. I'm just saying that it's not like that. Not at all. I just want to make sure you understand that. But for many of these guys out here, they repeat these phrases and they talk about that. But I know the game, and I'm the guy that is 5'7", and I'm the guy that has been broke. And when you're broke, or the guy that couldn't afford to even drive his car because I had to actually save gas money. I had to live off of my only check I got. I had to eat ramen noodles, Hamburger Helper, cereal, and what was the other one? Hamburger Helper, ramen noodles, cereals, and TV dinners. That was all I could afford. That was it. And I was going through women like a hot knife through butter. 5'7" and broke, you know what I mean? It's just what it is. But what I'm saying is that same person, when he walked into a room and he locked eyes with a woman, that little short MF was speaking to women. And that guy was not the tallest and he was not the richest, but he was somebody that impacted her. And that's why I want to talk to you out there, and I want to tell you why. Because that little guy that was 5'7", that little guy never operated from a lack of. He never looked at himself as less than, and he always operated from a belief in himself. I didn't even notice my height, to be honest with you. I guess from the world's view that I'm a little guy. I'm 5'7", but I never thought that or looked at my height as something. I never did. I never looked at it and say, man, I'm going to lose out because that guy is taller than me. I never thought that way. And it doesn't knock you guys out there that do think that way. I just never think that way. And I've always believed that the wealth is in the knowledge that I have of myself. And when I get around women, I'm like a giant to them. If you can hit the bottom in many ways anyway, but I'm just saying that it's not just a height or size thing or a dollar sign thing, but a lot of guys have a concept in their head that it actually is that. And what I want to do is I want to take a moment and I want to take some time and break down the 3 reasons why height and money don't define your success, especially in a game. And let's get with the reason number 1. As I've always said, gentlemen, emotions don't have a height and weight criteria. I know people on the internet want you to believe that that women want these things. And I know a lot of guys will say to themselves that, you know what, that I know this woman and she said that she wanted a guy this tall. It doesn't work that way, guys. Just because a woman wants something doesn't mean that her emotions won't want something else. It's totally different out there. And a lot of y'all guys, unfortunately, out there have been lied to. And excuse me, the sun is shining in my face. It's kind of early in the morning, so I apologize for the sun all blasted in my face. But it's good lighting, though. It's very good lighting. But the thing is, as I said before, women, they don't chase stats at the end of the day. They actually chase feelings. Because at the end of the day, attraction is emotional, okay? It's not rational. And when a woman gets around a certain kind of guy that, again, makes her feel seen, makes her feel heard, and makes her feel desired, and also sexually safe and all of this, these are things that actually turn her on. And when you're the guy that can check all the boxes, regardless of who you actually are, then you actually win in this. And as I was saying, you can be 5'7", all right? A 5'7" little guy like me and still tower like 6'2", because in her eyes, I bring something to her world that she's not used to. My mouthpiece, my mindset, my mentality. And if you understand, this is why comedians and musicians and people that speak every day charm women all the time. And women don't even know. If you think about when it comes to music or anything like that, women don't know how tall the artist is, but his lyrics are powerful enough to have an imprint on that woman to make her think about that man and things like that. These are things that are actually happening and stuff like that to people. And a lot of people don't understand that. I don't understand what's going on. And what I'm saying is it's not because of their looks and everything. It's how these guys actually move their emotions. And see, this is where a lot of nice guys fail, because a lot of nice guys fail because nice guys don't have an understanding of understanding. They think around, they sit around, and they think that they're using some kind of a logic to themselves to say that, okay, this is why it's happening, and things like that. And it's not the feeling that you create in the moment that matters. It's actually the man that understands that I don't play by those rules. I don't have to be taller. I just need to go deeper. And it doesn't matter how deep you go. I'm always trying to hit the bottom. And that's what we're trying to say to you guys out there. You got to be able to hit the bottom. And I'm not talking about her bottom. I'm talking about hitting her bottom right here. Because when you're that guy and she knows you're that guy, the rules change totally. Everything changes. And that's why the game is so important. I tell all you guys out there, at the end of the day, when I meet a woman, I know what I am, I know who I am, and I know that actually the belief that I have in myself is very intriguing to a woman, because a lot of women aren't used to men like me that believe in themselves. Now, sure, they can say I have a Napoleon complex because I'm very arrogant, egotistical, and probably a little narcissistic, but that doesn't mean that I can't be seen at 7 foot by the way I am and the way I move and actually the way I think. So what I say for all you guys out there, I don't want you young men stressing over something that you shouldn't be stressing over, okay? And which rolls into point number 2. The thing about the confidence that you have, or sexual confidence, okay, that the confidence that you have is going to trump everything, and people don't even understand that. When you walk into a room with certainty and what I call calm, and you're calm and you're one thought, one mind, one way, that means that you're not moved or intrigued or bothered or caught up in the whirlwind that a lot of young men who are actually tall get caught up in as well. The thing is that while a tall person may be taller than me, he still doesn't believe in himself. And it doesn't matter height and size and weight and money and all these other things, because a tall person can fade into the background, and so can a man with money. You know, most of my clients, they have a lot of money. And the thing with a lot of my clients that I have is that they used to think it was about money until they realized it wasn't about money, and it blew them away. And they're like, whoa, like, I really need to step my game up and all this other stuff. And at the end of the day, that, you know what, the person that walks into the average guy is going to walk into the room or any room and have this question that he's going to ask himself: do I fit in? He's going to ask, that's going to be his question: do I fit into this situation? Where a person that has game is going to say something totally different. Wait a second, I gotta make sure I turn so I don't get killed live on the air and shit like that. So a guy that has game is gonna think something totally different. A guy that has game is gonna walk into the situation and say that, you know what, the room belongs to me. Because confidence isn't about being loud and being cocky and being arrogant. It's when you're locked into the game, one thought, one mind, one way, of actually knowing who you are, not just the who you are, the why you are. It's about knowing that regardless of how tall I am and how many zeros I have in the bank, that I have an appreciation, a love, and an understanding of myself. Because at the end of the day, if I cannot accept myself, where a lot of guys go wrong, I've got to accept me first. And if I don't accept myself first, nobody else is going to accept me. And that's the honest truth. I I have to be able to accept myself and love myself enough and appreciate myself. And guys, I'll be honest with you, I don't get them all, but I don't lose either. So at the end of the day, I've been with taller women. I've always said it's funny that we're the same height when I'm getting that ass, because I take your legs and tie them up in a little bow and everything and stuff like that. But I just want y'all to think about that. It's all about how I know how to make her feel. A woman doesn't remember my shoes, and she doesn't remember my wallet, because remember, gentlemen, as I told you before, I didn't have nice clothes. Now, I'm being perfectly honest with you guys. I didn't have nice things. I had me, and that was the best thing that I could have in life, is me. When you don't have money, man, basically, and this is not my poor me story, but this is the truth. When you don't have money, you just look for things that look nice on you. It doesn't have to have a price tag on it. It just find things that look nice on you and take care of those things and wear those things until they start to fade out and get something else. I had to learn that about not only myself, but the game. And as I learned that money didn't define me and I defined myself, and I'm not here to try to impress a woman or be impressive by what I'm wearing, everything seemed to change. And that's where the world can change for you guys too, when you start to learn and soak up this game. Most guys, again, the limiting beliefs and the concept that you have, I get it. I'm sure you think it is about status and money and all that other stuff, but again, if you actually think about things and look at the world around you, you will notice that most guys out here nowadays who have status, who have money and all this other stuff, or height, they are struggling with women as well. So is it really the money, the clothes, or the status? And these are things that you have to take a moment and actually look at and see that maybe there's something different in all of that, which brings me to number 3. Compatibility and connection, okay? Those things beat surface level things, surface level materialistic or things or statistics that women have. I'm looking for sexual connection. I'm not looking for, am I tall enough for you? I'm never looking for that. And if you're looking for that with somebody, it's not going to work out for you, because most people don't understand at the end of the day that, yes, okay, let's say you do have the looks and let's say you do have the money, all right? But what is going to happen when you're not the only person in the world that has money? And you're not the only person in the world that's tall. Just because you are tall, it doesn't mean you're the only tall person. And always remember, there's always going to be someone taller than you. And there's always going to be someone that has, more money than you. Well, sometimes we got to look at and be honest with ourselves and realize some of these things are going to cancel themselves out. And the moment those things cancel themselves out, it's going to come down to who you are, your mouthpiece. And if you don't know how to talk to a woman right or the proper way, you're going to have problems with women and stuff. That's just how things go. I didn't look at something. That's how things go, okay? So if you really think about the game, the real connection that is going to be not necessarily shared values and things like that, okay? That's not what the game is about. And it's not about aligned goals, and it's not about connections and all that other BS. It's about who I am, and what I'm looking for. It's my life and my world, and she's going to come into my life and my world and have to prove herself. And I don't need $100,000 to make her laugh or anything like that. And I don't need a penthouse to make her feel safe. I can make her feel safe and everything like that. Gentlemen, you're allowed to learn how to fight. You're allowed to learn how to box. You're allowed to learn how to do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. That doesn't require a height or status. So, you can defend yourself. And especially in certain places, you're allowed to carry a weapon. And I'm not saying to use those weapons. I'm saying that sometimes things happen and you just got to get out of situations. But a woman needs to feel actually safe around you, okay? And a man that can offer a certain kind of a lifestyle mentally and emotionally to a woman is going to be a rare person, okay? See, if you notice about guys who are tall, guys who have money, don't understand the game, they're always going to try to buy or barter their way into the woman's life. And the truth of the matter is, if you're trying to buy and barter your way into a woman's life, you're not going to really turn her on. It's actually going to be a turn off. So let's just go a little deeper at the end of the day. The second that you guys start obsessing over what you lack, okay, the problem is you start losing a little bit of yourself every time, because you're going to start to say to yourself, I'm not good enough, okay? And if you think or say that you're not good enough, she is going to feel that and know that, guess what, you're not good enough. And for all you guys out there that are tall, what you don't understand, women don't reject you because you're tall, you're short, or you're broke, or anything like that. They reject you because you don't see yourself. You don't appreciate yourself. And I'm not to hear, your circumstances are your circumstances. But the good news is, when it comes to the game, it's not your circumstances. It's actually your mindset. And your mindset is always going to control the game. So what I always say for all you guys out there, you are the narrator of your life, and you get to write the script of how you want to live your life. And that is a language that a lot of guys need to have to win in this game. At the end of the day, that you got to speak in a new mindset, a new language, and slow down on your limited beliefs and things that you don't believe yourself, your concepts that you have. There's so many concepts that so many guys have nowadays that they just hold themselves back from themselves. But I say, I'm not here to force you to change, but I'm here to show you that you can change. And the change has got to come when you actually learn the game and you actually become a student of the game. But at the end of the day, the choice is yours. What is it that you want to be? How do you want to move? Excuse me. How do you see yourself? Because nobody can force change on you. And as long as you believe that it is height and it is money, then I'm not here to try to change your mind. Nobody can change your mind. It's always going to be what you think and what you... So just remember, at the end of the day, gentlemen, this is not here. I'm not here to try to change your mind and force you to think a different way. I'm here to say, start to accept yourself and accept what you have. For me, I always say I didn't drink my milk when I was a kid, but that's all I lived on was damn cereal. Fuck, I'm like lactose intolerant now. I had so much milk. It's just, I'm a short man. Man is short, you know what I mean? I'm just a little dude, but that doesn't stop me. You can be little and think big, you know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to make sure I share that with you guys. But you know what? That's going to be the end of our discussion, but it's not the end. Well, it's the end of the show, but not the end of our discussion. And I hope you guys can see that I'm doing everything I can to get you to change your mindset and your perception. So gentlemen, before you go, take a moment and watch this next video I have, and maybe that can help you a little bit more on the game in which I'm talking about. But at the end of the day, gentlemen, it will not be about your money and the zeros in your bank account or how tall you are. It is always going to be a mindset. Break the limited beliefs and you'll be fine. And I, gentlemen, will definitely talk to you guys later. Hey, August is around the corner. Let's go, Cal. I got to get prepared for all you assholes that hate America's team. So I'm just I thought I'd have this right here to talk a little bit of shit to y'all guys. Anyway, man, I'll talk to y'all guys later. Peace.